Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. If you have way too many zucchini lying around your kitchen this summertime, today's dessert recipe is going to be perfect for you. I'm going to be making my chocolate zucchini cake with chocolate buttercream, and if you've never had zucchini cake before, you are in for a real treat. The zucchini adds so much extra moisture and flavor and texture to this cake. It's so delicious. I'm going to start out with a rich chocolate cake batter, add grated zucchini right in there, and I'm going to frost this cake with my chocolate buttercream frosting. I have a separate video recipe for that. I'll include that recipe and this recipe down in the video description box below, so make sure to check that out. And meanwhile, let's get started and make this incredible cake. And I'm going to get this chocolate zucchini cake started with the zucchini. So I have one large zucchini. We need about 2 cups of grated zucchini. I'm just going to trim off the edges here. Now you can use green zucchini or yellow zucchini, whichever one you have. Both of them will be perfect for this recipe. I don't even bother peeling off the peel. I think it just adds more texture and flavor to the recipe. We're just going to grate the zucchini into a large bowl. And I have my zucchini all grated. Today I used a medium-sized grater and I have my zucchini all done. I'm going to set this aside for now and get started on that chocolate cake batter. Switching gears to my chocolate cake batter, I have 4 large eggs in my mixing bowl. To that I'm going to add in 3/4 cups of cooking oil. Today I'm using avocado oil. You can also use olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, whichever kind of oil you would like. And I'm going to add in 1 cup of whole milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1.5 cups of white granulated sugar. And this is a little bit more than I usually add for my cakes, but it's because the zucchini is going to take some of that sweetness away. And I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of instant coffee powder. And then I'll grab my mixer and mix this for 2 to 3 minutes on medium to high speed until the eggs are well beaten. And next up, it's time for some chocolate. So I melted 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips in the microwave. You could also do this on the stovetop over a double boiler. And I'm going to pour that melted chocolate right into the cake batter. And I love adding melted chocolate because it makes for an extra rich and really delicious cake. Grab your mixer and mix this right in. And now for my dry ingredients, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm going to be adding in 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Today I'm using Hershey's Special Dark Cocoa Powder. It's like a really rich, deep kind of cocoa powder, and I really like it for cakes. I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of baking soda and 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to make sure to combine these really well. And I'm going to sift the dry ingredients into my cake batter. And you always want to do this to ensure that you don't have clumps of flour or baking soda or baking powder in there, because that would be so unpleasant to bite into. And also because cocoa powder always tends to bunch up into these little balls. And I just want to press them through your strainer and your sifter with a little spoon. And then grab your mixer and mix in the flour and the dry ingredients just until they're incorporated. It takes about a minute. And check out how rich and chocolatey this cake batter is. It's going to be so delicious. And now for the final ingredient, we're going to add in that grated zucchini. Just drop it in right on top. And then I'm going to use a spatula to fold that in. I've lined 2 8-inch cake pans with parchment paper. This recipe will also work really well with 9-inch cake pans, and I'm going to divide this batter evenly between the 2 pans. Just going to estimate it today, but you can always use a kitchen scale if you want it to be super precise. And my zucchini cake layers are ready to go into my preheated oven. They're going to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 to 45 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. And then you'll want to take them out of the oven, out of the pans, and onto a wire rack to cool completely. Meanwhile, I'm going to make a batch of my chocolate buttercream. I'm going to have that recipe linked down in the video description box below. You can also make this cake with a chocolate version of my French buttercream or even a chocolate whipped cream frosting. And look at these stunning chocolate cakes. I've let them cool completely. Now I'm going to grab a long serrated knife and split them in half. What I usually do for these cakes is I let them cool at room temperature for about an hour, and then I place them into the freezer so that they cool down completely. And that way they're nice and chilled, and actually when they're chilled like that, they're easier to work with as well. And now it's time to assemble the cake. I have my chocolate buttercream all done. I love this buttercream. It's just so light and fluffy. Now today I'm going to assemble a naked cake without any frosting on the side, so I'm not even using a turntable, but feel free to decorate this cake however you would like. If you want to add even more moisture, although I don't think that this cake needs it, you can also soak the layers with a little bit of simple syrup or even maybe some chocolate liqueur. That would be delicious. I'm just going to spread this frosting evenly to the edges. And for today's stunning chocolate cake, I wanted to keep the decorations super simple, and this looks very beautiful and elegant. And now it's time to dig in and enjoy. I'm going to grab a long, sharp knife to cut through all these amazing cake layers. And check out how stunning this cake looks like on the inside. All that frosting and that cake is just so rich and amazing. This is going to taste so delicious. And that's it, guys, for my chocolate zucchini cake. I absolutely love how it turned out. Just wanted to keep things really simple and elegant, and I think this cake hits the mark. For the full recipe, don't forget to head on down into that video description box. I'll have a link for the chocolate zucchini cake as well as a link for the chocolate buttercream. I'll have everything in one spot on the website post. Now time to dig in and enjoy. This looks so incredible, and this frosting is just so heavenly, so light and fluffy. Going to get some of the cake, some of that frosting. I just love how rich and chocolatey this cake is. This chocolate zucchini cake is out of this world amazing. This is one of the best chocolate cakes I have ever had, and I've had a lot of cakes, so it says so much about this recipe. There's so much going for this cake. It's so rich and delicate, and this chocolate buttercream is just so light and fluffy. It's the perfect complement to these really rich and delicate, moist, chocolatey cake layers. The zucchini is just amazing. So you won't actually taste the zucchini in there. It just adds like this really incredible texture to the cake. You guys are going to love it. If you've never tried a zucchini cake, this is the one to try. It's just one of the best chocolate cakes ever. Don't forget to head on down at that video description box for the full recipe, and I hope you guys enjoyed this cake at home. I'll see you next time with a new recipe.